Over the next 2 minutes, I want to make you think about and reflect on the role that responsive teaching plays as part of your own classroom craft. Now, what do I mean by responsive teaching? Well, what I mean by this is, what are you doing differently as a result of some information or data that you've collected, whether that's question and answer, whether it's test scores, what are you doing differently because of that? Or are you just ploughing on regardless and you're just following a scheme of work irrespective of how well or how badly your children do? And Dylan Williams talked about this when he talked about formative assessment, and he said he wishes that he'd have renamed it responsive teaching. And the idea is that if you're doing some kind of formative assessment in your classroom, whether that's a quiz, whether that's a question and answer, whether it's just kind of gauging the feelings of how well students have done on a certain task and you're looking over people's shoulders, what are you doing next with that information? Because actually, if you're just going to plow ahead anyway regardless, there was almost no point doing the question and answer or doing the quiz. And historically, teachers, we're really bad at kind of thinking, right, well, I'm going to put the score in a mark book and it's all going, and I'm going to track the scores. That's great, but what are we doing with that information? And I often find teachers who put the scores in the mark book, but then do exactly what they were going to do anyway, irrespective of what the scores were. So a question to ask you, if I give you an example, is that let's imagine one of the students in your class gets 3 out of 10, or the average score is 3 or 4 out of 10, from the whole class. What are you doing differently in the next lesson? How are you responding to that data? What's going to be different? And are you going to go backwards a little bit? Are you going to revisit something? Or are you just going to move ahead anyway? Because let me tell you this, there is no child in the universe that has ever improved because you have just put their score in a mark book. That's just a recording mechanism. It's what we do next with that data, how we respond, how we adjust our plans to make sure that we've got the data, and because of that, we're now going to do something different. And when I say data, that might just be verbal answers from questions, it might be some data from a test score, whatever you get back in that formative assessment, how you're going to use that to be responsive, and how you're going to use your responsive teaching to make your teaching better because of the information that you've got.